In this video, we'll be changing the front CV axle on this 2009 BMW 328 and E90. And this is part of a series of videos on this car where I'm trying to bring it back to life. This is how I found the car. I've since got it back up and running, and we're going to continue that work right now. Now, I should mention, this job is easy for me because I have a lift, but this is totally doable with the jack and some jack stands. Step one is taking this wheel off, which I'm going to skip because you should know how to do that. Now, this is the driver's side, so it's a little less complicated than the passenger side, but we should be able to get this done just by removing this tie rod end and the lower control arm. We'll also need to remove this wheel speed sensor. You want to use a 5mm hex or Allen to back out the bolt that holds in the ABS sensor. And it's going to be in there pretty tight, so a pair of needle nose pliers like this will help you grab the ends of it and wiggle it out. You don't want to pull it by the wire. I'm going to do a quick inspection here because the issue that I had here was that the reluctor ring on the end of this axle was rusty and swollen, and it started to scrape against this, and that's why it was failing. It looks pretty good, so I'm just going to put it to the side and continue on. You use a 24mm socket or a wrench to get this nut off for the tie rod end. Unless I have to, I don't like using an impact, so I'm just doing this one by hand. Before I go any further, I'm going to focus my attention on this axle nut. Now it's in there and it's tamped down on the edges to prevent that from backing out. So you'll have to use a punch or a chisel to get in there first and undo that. Tap that out so you free it up away from the threads of that axle. With that done, I'm going to spray this down with some PB Blaster and let it soak for a while. Here's where the impact comes out. You need a 36mm socket, and it's very important that it's a 12-point socket. And if you use a 6-point, you're going to screw up this nut here. With a good impact, you should be able to zip this right off. If you don't have an impact, some people, what they do is they put a screwdriver inside the vent hose of the rotor to stop it from spinning, and then using a breaker bar. I'm not too keen on that though, and if it were me without an impact, I'd leave this on the ground before taking the wheel off, take the center cap off the rim, get your socket through the center of the rim, and back out the nut that way. Now here's something you should never do. Hit the end of the axle shaft with a hammer. But I'm just going to do that right now just to see if it budges at all, to know what I'm up against. This should be able to move freely though once I have this knuckle pulled out. Making my way back to the other side, I'm going to remove this tie rod end. Now people just wheel on this thing with a large hammer, like a ball peen. I'm not too big on that, so I'm just going to use this separator here. I'll put a link to below. It's cheap and it works just great. Just got to get in there. If you're going to reuse this tie rod, use caution to not break that boot. But once you get it in there, use an impact to dry that up and it will pop this free. Then you just move it out of the way the best you can. Now we've got to get to this other nut here, and it is also 24mm, and it looks like you can't get a socket in there, but you can, especially if you have a shallow socket. Just try not to mar up that boot if you're going to end up reusing this for some reason. You can get that in there. You're going to use a breaker bar, something bigger, thicker like a ratchet's not going to really work well. Use a breaker bar to break it loose, and once you have that done, you can come back in with a wrench to back it out. Again, I'm not big on smashing this thing with a hammer, so I'm just going to use this separator here. You want to use caution, by the way, when you're using the separator. Make sure that you get the top of that tool fully on top of the bolt that's there. If you have it off to the side, you risk damaging the threads. But once it's in place, once again, zip it with the impact, and this will pop right out. With those two components disconnected, you should be able to swing this entire knuckle outward enough to back this axle out of that hub. I got hung up a little bit at the end here, so what I did is I went around and I tapped it with a punch in the center to pop it out. But with a little bit of wiggling, elbow grease, and cursing, this should pop right out. Next, we'll come underneath and remove the 16mm bolts that hold in this skid plate. And it's not just a regular skid plate, by the way. This is structural, so you want to make sure this goes back in. By the way, you'll notice a ton of oil down here, and some of it is residual. Originally, this car was just spewing oil from the oil filter cap. However, this is a BMW, so I think in an effort to reduce rust, it saturates itself with oil as a protectant. Once you pull this down, you'll have access to, and you can see where the axle goes into the front differential. You'll use like a large pry bar or some other tool you can get in there and hammer it and pop it out. Now, of course, I couldn't get a good angle on this, but basically what I'm using is a larger one of these pry bars here, the 2-foot bar. I'm going to just get it in there, get the edge, catch the edge of it on the back side of that axle, give it a few hits with the hammer, and you will see it pop out. Now, just come around to the front, move that knuckle out of the way a little bit, and then fish this thing out. The new one's going to go in the reverse order. One thing to do first is clean up the seal on the differential and inspect it, of course, for any kind of damage. And also very important, this has always been said, is the clip that's on the end of that axle shaft where it goes into the differential. Make sure the opening of that clip is downward. I've never encountered an issue at all ever, but pretty much everywhere you look tells you make sure that clip is facing downward. Don't just jam that thing in there. You want to get a feel for it. Make sure those splines line up. And once they do, you're going to push it in. You'll get to a point where you're going to have to push it a little bit harder. Now, some people will come around to the end of that axle and just use it itself to push in. You could really jam hard on this and it won't damage it. I don't care much for doing that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this lined up into the hub a little bit, just enough where I could use this knuckle here itself to push in and snap that axle into the differential. Before I do that, I'm just going to put a little anti-seize inside this hub here. Once again, you want to make sure these splines line up properly in the hub. And once you do, the shaft will start coming through. And then I'm going to use this entire assembly to push in towards that differential to lock this axle into place. If you're doing it this way, you will feel that axle snap into place. But once you do, just give a quick inspection where the axle meets the differential to make sure it's seated properly. Come around front, put that axle nut on. Before I reassemble, I'm just going to clean off the threads here with the wire brush, make sure they're nice and clean. This part is challenging because these bolts will spin when you try to put the nuts on. So what you want to do is you want to come in from the top with a Torx bit. I'll put a link to them below because that's going to go into the center of these bolts here to hold it in place. You don't have much clearance for the lower and control arm. So what I found works for me is to put that socket in. The top of the socket has these little serrated edges and it works well for getting clamped with a pair of vice grips. I'm going to use some vice grips. I'm going to make sure that they rest up against another component here. And I'm going to use the open end of this wrench here to get it tightened just to where I know that's not going to spin. Then I'll come back with the socket and the breaker bar to tighten it down. You can give yourself some leverage by installing the tie rod end and just temporarily with that nut just to hold that knuckle from turning too freely. Now there is a torque setting for this. It's 80 newton meters or 59 foot-pounds. But I have to be honest, it's hard to get a torque wrench in there, at least the torque wrench I have. So I'm just going to use this breaker bar here to tighten it up to where I think it should be. Next, I'm going to come up with that same 24 millimeter wrench. I'm going to get it on the bolt and then I'm going to put that Torx socket in through the top to hold it in place with the ratchet and tighten this down. Once that's feeling pretty snug, come back with the torque wrench. Now this gets torqued down to 165 newton meters or 122 foot-pounds. Reinstall the ABS sensor. Make sure where it goes in is nice and clean. I hit it with a little wire brush in there. Make sure it goes in nice and straight where the hole lines up and then remount that 5 millimeter hex head bolt. Then come back around and I'm going to use my impact to tighten this axle nut down. I'm not going to torque it until it's on the ground, but when I do, it's going to go to 210 newton meters. Then I'll bring it back up, take the wheel back off the car, and use a chisel to bend in those tabs on that axle nut. Now we're just about done with this job, but I want to make sure I add in one thing here, which is swapping out the fluid of the differential. When you change one of these axles, you're going to lose some fluid, so you might as well do a fluid change right now. Here you could see while you have the wheel off, you have access to the fill plug. You always want to loosen that one up first, and you have access to the drain plug. This will be the next video though, so stay tuned. I like making these videos to show how easy it is to do some of these things on your own and of course to save a ton of money while doing it. I'll put links to the items and tools I've used below, and if you use my links, I will earn a whole 17 cents.